Welcome back to Outdoor Garage. Today I thought, let's do a little bit of story time. You know, I've been so busy with work and everything going on in my life recently that I haven't really had a chance to make a video, and I don't like that. I like giving content to my viewers, okay? I like talking about cars. I like driving. I love driving. So I thought I gotta just go for a little drive. I have the day off today. I'm gonna tell them about how I came to purchase my first car. This car that I'm driving right now, my 2015 Hyundai Accent. So I was about 17. My parents didn't let me get a driver's license until I was 18, they said. They didn't want me to drive. They didn't want to pay for insurance. I don't know. They didn't want me to realize how beautiful driving is and how addicted you would become, how addicted I would become. So basically, they said, we're not going to let you get a driver's license until you have a job, you can pay your own insurance, you can buy your own car. We're not doing nothing for you that way. And that's okay. I am perfectly fine with that. All right? Because I believe that kids, young people should have a little bit of struggle so that they can build their character, right? But that's a story for a different day. Anyways, so I knew that I had to buy my own car, right? I knew that I needed a driver's license. Now, this is all a long story, and I'll try not to get too much into my childhood because, trust me, you don't want to hear that. But I got a job when I was 17 years old, washing windows, cleaning windows. All right, I was 17. I started working my behind off, and believe you me, there wasn't much there to begin with. There really wasn't. So anyways, as we get into this story, why don't you get out your popcorn, maybe a little bit of milk, get out your sippy cup, try to relax and picture me as a young guy, not in a weird way, not in a creepy way, trying to figure out how the heck am I going to get a car? How am I going to purchase a car? Cars are expensive, right? Not only that, where do I find a car? Can I buy one from a dealership? No, can't do that. That's way too expensive. I don't have credit. That's another thing. I had zero credit, by the way. So here I am. I'm stressed out about it, man. I want a car so badly. I want to be able to get around. I want to have freedom. I want to experience the world. And so I'm sitting here week after week. I'm looking online. I'm looking at these cars, trying to find a cheap one, right? Because mind you, I had zero money, like zero money. I was working 3 days a week at this window cleaning job. It was not paying me very well. I think I was getting paid like 12 bucks an hour or something like that. And I could not save up enough money to buy a car unless it was over like years of time in the situation that I was in. And so I realized that. I was like, dang it, man, I don't know if I can get a car. So here I am on Facebook Marketplace, on Craigslist predominantly, I think, looking at these used cars, and I was like, man, I can't afford any of these, and they're all junk, you know what I mean? And I started to get very depressed. So that was the situation. I was depressed. I wanted a car. I didn't know how I would get one. And that was the state I was in one day when I was sitting in my friend's house, just hanging out. I think we were watching football or something. And his dad came home and he said, hey, there's this lady that has this car. She bought it for her grandson. He wrecked it. It's at the salvage yard. Do you want to come take a look at it with me? And we were like, yeah, why not? I don't know. Let's go check out this wrecked car. So we head over there. They literally drive this thing out of the garage, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't look that bad. It looked fine. I was looking at the driver's side of it. From the driver's side, this thing looks fine. Then when you went over to the passenger side, you saw what had happened. All right, both the doors were smashed in. I'll see if I can find some pictures of that. The doors were smashed. The windows were not broken, thankfully, but all of the curtain airbags were completely blown. The seat airbag was blown, passenger seat fully blown. The ceiling liner was ripped and torn from where the airbags had blown it out. And I saw that, and I was like, okay, so it has a little bit of damage, but it's still drivable. I wonder how many miles it has on it. So we were looking around the car. I got in the car, sat in the car. I was like, oh, only 26,000 miles on this thing. 26,000 miles on a Hyundai Accent. These things are very reliable. They will last you for 250, 300,000 miles if you treat it right. And I knew that. So as I was looking at this car, I was like, yeah, it's kind of destroyed in some cosmetic ways, but the engine's good, and it runs and it drives. It runs and it drives, which that's the most important thing a car can do, right? Arguably, that's the most important thing a car can do, is run and drive. That's the least you can ask of a car. That's the bare minimum, but you need that. So I was sitting here realizing that, and realizing maybe I can buy this car and fix it up. And maybe I can get it at a really cheap price because of its condition. And then I heard the lady talking about it. She was talking about it. She had bought it for her grandson. He had done this to the car. She basically was just going to give the car to a salvage place, and they said they would give her $1,000 for it. The guy from the salvage yard was telling her, if we take it to the dump, basically, they'll give you $1,000 for this car. They'll crush it. They'll do whatever they want. She was like, I might do that. I just want to be done with this whole situation. She didn't want to deal with the car anymore. She didn't want to pay for damage repair and all that stuff. And so I was coming to realize that she was going, her plan was to salvage this car and just completely crush it, get $1,000 for it, and move on. So I was like, well, here I am having no money. Literally, I probably had $30 in my bank account and no credit, nothing. And I got paid probably around $400 a check every 2 weeks at that point, something like that. So I was like, I'm gonna make her an offer. And it can't be more than my next check, because I'm gonna have to pay it with my next check. And I was like, I'm gonna make her like the lowest offer I can, and she probably will say no. But at least I know that I made an offer. You know, I gotta make an offer on this car. So I went, as soon as I realized that, I went right up to her. I was like, hey, would you sell this car to me? And she said, yeah, I'll sell it. You know, I just want to get rid of it and get it off my hands. And I said, how about $350? Would you take $350 for this car? Fully expecting her to be like, kind of insulted, to be honest. Like, what are you talking about? No, the guy just said I could get $1,000 for this car if I junked it. So I said, $350. Would you take $350? And she said, without much hesitation at all, very surprisingly, she said, yeah, I'd do that. And I looked over at my friend and his dad, and they were like in shock that she had just accepted that offer. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I said, but you'll have to wait 2 weeks for my next check to come in. I'll pay you then. And she said, okay, we'll set it up. Got her number. She did whatever she did with the title, got that ready for me. A couple days later, or a week later, when I got my check in, I met up with her at the bank. I gave her $350 cash. And by the way, I drove this car home that same day before even giving her any money. She was so nice and trusting. I don't even know why. Like, that's that's unheard of. That's unheard of. She just gave me the car. I drove it over to my friend's house. I parked it there until I could get the money. It was still smashed in on the side. It didn't have a license plate and stuff, so I didn't want to get pulled over. It sat there for about a week or two, and then I drove it home. I gave her the money and drove it home. And it's just funny because my friend's dad, who deals in like cars, like he flips cars sometimes. He does a lot of things, but he flips cars, and he was like, I don't know why I didn't make an offer. Like, he was upset. He was upset that he didn't make an offer. He's like, why didn't I? He was like, I was standing there for 10 minutes and I didn't think to make an offer on this car. And I was like, sorry, dude. Like, sucks to be you, basically. You know? But there we had it. My first car was $350. 2015, 26,000 miles. No engine problems, nothing. Just some smashed in doors that I had a plan to fix, and some blown airbags. It's like, it's a miracle, basically. So, all that stress I had been through, all that depression, because I was like, I can't get a car. I'm too poor. I don't know where to go. I don't have any credit. You know, all of that just went away because I had found this wonderful little black car. And so that's the story. That's the story of how I bought this car that I'm driving right now for $350. Amazing. My first car. And I've driven this car ever since then. I had a long commute to work, over an hour, one way, so over 2 hours, every day pretty much. I put so many miles in this car. 186,000 miles it has on it now, in just a few years. Yeah, 26,000 miles to 186,000 miles. And I love it, man. It's a great little car. I've had to do small things to it. I maintain it every day. Not every day. I maintain it, thank you. I guess I was sort of tailgating that guy, but allegedly, but I won't admit that. But yeah, I do regular maintenance every 4,000 miles. We'll change the oil, you know, air filter. I've had to replace a battery, of course, tires. I've done O2 sensors, you know, spark plugs. I've done several things to this car, but overall, this thing is an absolute champion. It just does what you want it to do, and I love it. Now, does that mean that I don't want a different car? It doesn't mean that at all. I cannot wait to be driving a sports car down this road. You know, a Mustang, a Corvette, an Aston Martin, whatever it is. I want a really cool, powerful car to drive. This gets me from point A to point B very well. But I want something beautiful and powerful and sexy. Okay? And can I be faulted for that? I don't think so. But I'm going to keep this car as long as I can. I'm going to drive it as long as I can. I mean, I have to right now. I'm poor as hell. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, back to something I forgot to say. Back to right after I got the car. So I found a website that sold the doors. They were a different color. I found 2 doors. They were gray. I put them on. I'll put some pictures up of that. Put the new doors on. I sewed the seat back together by hand. I stuffed the stuff back, the airbag back in. Sewed it together by hand. I cut the curtain airbags off on the passenger side. Stuffed the rest back in. Clipped everything back in. The roof, all of that, the ceiling material. And that's all I could do to it. That's all I did to it, really. That cost me about $650 extra. And I've been driving it like that ever since. The only light I have on the dash right now is the airbag light, because I didn't reset them or get new airbags or anything like that. But that's the only light I have on the dash, and it's wonderful. I've had to get a new front bumper for it. They're all different shades of black, the whole car. I spray painted the passenger drawers. They were gray before. I spray painted them black, so it's all like matte. There's no finish on it. It's like, the car's pretty ugly, to be honest with you. The car's very ugly on the outside, but hey, it's done what I needed it to do, and it's been a great car. So that's the story. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's an interesting story. People are amazed every time I tell them that I got this car for that amount of money, that cheap. And so I thought I'd share it with you all too. Thank you for watching the video. If you did, more will be coming. I'm going to continue to create car content. Just something I'm passionate about. And if I know anything at this point in my life, is you need to just do it. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? If you have something you've been dreaming about and something you want to do, and you have it in your circumstances to make those small steps to get towards your goal, then you can just do it. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. You're going to have to do it after work or on a day you have off, like I'm doing. But you'll feel good about yourself. You know, you'll feel accomplished when you know that you're doing something that you're passionate about. People can tell that you really enjoy what you're talking about. So hopefully that comes across. But anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you all in the next video. Probably a review of my car collection, my garage, whatever I have right now. An in-depth review on everything. And that will probably be the next. Can't promise you when. But until then, have a great time. Live life, and peace out.